Build hope.
Build knowledge.
Build wealth.
Build power.
Build legacy.
Build capacity.
Opportunity.
And community.
Build NOLA.
Build NOLA.
Build NOLA.
Build NOLA.
Build NOLA. Build NOLA. Build NOLA. Build NOLA. Build hope.
Build knowledge.
Build wealth.
Build power.
Build legacy.
Build capacity.
Opportunity.
And community.
Build NOLA.
Build NOLA.
Build NOLA.
Build NOLA.
Build NOLA. Build NOLA. Build NOLA. Build NOLA.
Morning, everyone. Good morning. Good Saturday morning. My name is Jade Brown Russell. I am one of the Build NOLA partners. There are many online as well attending that I want to give a quick shout out to for continuing to push the program forward. I am so excited about today. I don't know how many of you out there are familiar with Build NOLA. Many of you I know are, but for those of you who are unfamiliar with the program, this is a small business training program really designed to give small businesses the things that they need the most in order to bring their businesses to the next level. We have 3 tracks. This is a 3-track program. So we have businesses that are just starting up, those that are ready to get connected to opportunities throughout the city of New Orleans. And we also have a very special track 3 for our construction companies that are preparing themselves to get ready for bonding. And so I want to quickly just say hello to all of our Build NOLA participants who are joining us today. And of course, the general public, I want to thank you all for tuning in today. If you were here for volume 1 of the Build NOLA speaker series with Mark Moriel, you certainly should have left that speaker series just energized about what is to come for small businesses and what we really, with a clear understanding of what we need to do to move the small business community forward. Today is not any different. I am so excited personally to hear from the 3 people that we have prepared for you to hear them today. And I'm going to now turn it over to the phenomenal Kalisha Garrett. She is not only the executive director of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber, but she is also a business owner herself. And so she is living this with all of the participants. She is also someone who is taking her business to the next level as well. So I will turn it over to Kalisha to introduce our guest, and we'll get started. Thanks for joining. Kalisha?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Jade. Shout out to the DJ for pumping us up this Saturday morning. I don't think there was a better song that could have come out. Yay! Phenomenal, Jade Brown Russell. Not a better song that could have come out and gotten us all in the spirit of being here this morning and getting ready to listen to this panel this morning, guys. Build NOLA participants, community members, partners, and especially our guests. I definitely want to welcome you guys this morning. We are being joined today with some of the most notable world-renowned entrepreneurial leaders who happen to just be natives of New Orleans, right? My name is Kalisha Garrett, and I'm proud to be a partner of the Build NOLA team and to have the honor to facilitate this conversation on this morning. I know that you all share in my excitement to hear from these self-made, successful, humble, homegrown entrepreneurs from our great city. So joining us today is Derek Tabb, Kim Lewis, and Larry Morrow. I'll do a brief introduction of the panelists before welcoming them to our conversation. So Mr. Derek Tabb. Derek was born and raised in the Treme neighborhood of New Orleans. A drummer since the age of 5, Derek is a professional musician and major contributor to the music industry. Since the 1990s, Derek has performed as the snare drummer with the 2012 Grammy Award-winning Rebirth Brass Band. Derek believes strongly that music is a powerful force for good. By instilling invaluable skills and self-discipline, music education can provide youth with the foundation to make positive life choices. He has extensive experience with our city's schools' marching bands, having served as the marching band drum instructor at both high school and middle school levels. Derek's beliefs in the future of New Orleans and to the preservation and celebration of its great cultural and musical heritage led him to found the Roots of Music. His commitment to improving the life choices of youth in New Orleans and to the success of the program have led to national recognition for the Roots of Music and its leader. His accomplishments include being named Top 10 CNN Hero in 2009, as well as multiple awards, including the Energizer Bunny Hall of Fame Top 10 finalists, the Blue Cross Blue Shield Angel Award for Outstanding Volunteer Services, Zurich Classic Award for Outstanding Work in the Community. He has been recognized as a Young Leadership Council role model for actively contributing to the betterment of the community. And as I stated earlier, won the phenomenal award of a Grammy with the world famous Rebirth Brass Band. Now look, that's just one of the panelists joining us today. Next, we have Miss Kim Lewis. At the heart and soul of Old Orleans Wine, a tribute to historic New Orleans, it was founded by Kim Lewis. There's no doubt that our wines would not be the same if it were not for the creativity and passion Kim brings to the table. Old Orleans was brought to life in 2018 based on the love of New Orleans and Kim's family history. Each bottle is dedicated to a part of New Orleans history, making every bottle a collector's item. Born and raised in New Orleans, Kim is the mother of 3 beautiful and amazing children. Kim and her children enjoy spending time with their dogs, horses, and sunny beaches. The family takes pride in everything that is natural in New Orleans. From festivals to parades, you can find them at all of the festivities. Old Orleans started as a dream and grew to a mapped out vision and is now a reality. At the end of the day, wine is just a beverage, but it becomes a part of something greater. It brings people together over a meal for celebrations big and small. So why not celebrate with a bottle of exclusive rich wine and historic history, the perfect conversation piece? And then rounding up our panel is Mr. Larry Morrow. Mr. Morrow is a 29-year-old serial entrepreneur residing in New Orleans, Louisiana. His claim to fame is being an event curator, producing lavish star-studded events hosted by celebrities like Diddy, Floyd Mayweather, Drake, and more. Morrow is a mild-mannered businessman who has garnered substantial success in the entertainment industry, which has also allowed him to launch other ventures such as Larry Morrow Properties, his critically acclaimed self-help book, All Bets on Me, and most recently, Morrow's Restaurant in New Orleans. Larry's sphere of influence has grown tremendously since entering the entertainment gamut 10 years ago. He's now actively using his platform to uplift the community through various philanthropic endeavors and inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs through mentorship. This is what we're talking about today, guys. We have some of the best individuals here to share with us, and they are going to bring it home. We know that we are all here to hear the truth, to get the real business behind what started them, and have them share with us their true life experiences. So prior to welcoming them to the stage, we're going to show a brief video and get this conversation started. Welcome, welcome to our guests. You guys can unmute and come on camera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. So good to have you guys here with us today. Definitely want to welcome you all here. And I know that we've had a little bit of brief conversation, kind of prepping you guys for who's going to be listening in with us today. Our Bill NOLA participants and cohorts, as well as the community members that are eager to hear from you guys and to have you all share just a little bit of insight into each one of you. So I think I want to go ahead and start off with Derek, if you don't mind. If you can, tell us a little bit about yourself and share some of those challenges you may have faced when you started your businesses initially, are some things that you may want to provide as some insight as to how you've gotten your business to grow to the success it is today.
I would like to start off with saying that first of all, thank you guys for having me on the panel today. That's what I have to start off with. But Roots started off as an idea in my head because my junior high band director was such an influence in my life. He was probably the reason why I feel like he saved my life. His band was so on point with everything that they wanted to do. They caught every kid attention. And I wanted to be a part of that, so I had to work hard to be a part of it. But also when I got a part of that band, I got to see a guy who was like 5 people in one. He was a upper brass, lower brass, drum instructor, and woodwind instructor, but also a disciplinarian. So I always used to think, if I was to split this guy up into 5 people, he could save a lot more kids like me. And doing that, I came up with Roots. I started helping out in different, volunteering at different schools, and then eventually getting a job at different schools. And I seen that I wanted to do a program, but do a program outside of the schools where it can offer the same musical experience to a lot more kids around the city rather than just in one school. And Roots came about as a thought in my head and eventually started up. Now I'm trying to get everything really short so we can get everybody in there. My main thing about starting up a business, especially a nonprofit, I would suggest that anybody that want to start up a nonprofit, go get involved with a nonprofit that they think is close to what they want to do in every aspect of it. Get inside the administrative side, the program side, deal with whoever you have to deal with, all the way around the board, the financial side, because once you start with nonprofits, it's a whole different world, and it really wears you out in a lot of ways because you're fundraising while you're learning. So I would suggest that you really try to get involved with a nonprofit that really give you the guidelines to how to run a nonprofit. And once you start it up, like Roots, the challenge with Roots was Roots grew on its own. It started out with supposed to be 19 kids that were supposed to be in the program at Tipitina's for 6 weeks. And the first day, 42 kids showed up.
Wow.
Yes, the second week, 65 kids showed up. And the third week, we had over 100 kids, and we had to put a pause on taking kids. But so it just took feet and walk on its own. And the challenge was money at the time, because we budget for one thing and a whole nother budget came about. So just making sure that we went out and went after the money for the kids to keep this program going was the challenge. And having somebody that didn't know nonprofits at all. That was my main problem. I didn't know anything about a nonprofit. So beginning to learn how to do a nonprofit and have a nonprofit running at the same time was just was my biggest challenge. And we just kept it going because the kids wanted it. And before long, we started getting a lot of attention from everybody, from the news to the President Obama to, it's nothing like having your peers, the people that's right here around you that acknowledge what you're doing. So that was always my cheer, and the kids' little uplifting and inspiration, having to do parades here in New Orleans and just practicing the people that inspire you and support you from right here was just like the drive to keep us going.
Okay. Okay. Well, cool. Thank you for that insight. And I think that you made some very valiant points as it relates to nonprofits and understanding what it is that you want to do before launching it. That was really good advice as far as like actually participating within a nonprofit so that you can understand, because oftentimes I just find that people that are in nonprofits don't look at them the same as a business, and it is actually running a business, and so you have the same thing. So definitely. So thank you so much for that introduction, and we'll get a little bit further into it. I want to switch over to Larry, and if you can come in and share a little bit of insight on your journey and give a little background of who you are.
How y'all doing? What's going on, Kim? What's going on, Derek? Thank you.
Hi, everybody.
Everybody for having me. So I'm Larry Morrow, based in New Orleans. I'm a 29-year-old entrepreneur. And I got my start back when I was about 19 or 20. I produced my first event. I made, at that age, I made like $11,000. So after making that money, I'm like, wow, I can make money by partying and having fun with my friends. So I decided to do that, and I started to produce more and more events. It started off as just something I was doing to make a few dollars to, have fun and party. But then I saw the potential in it, and I decided to turn it into a business. But then I saw along the way that I had a niche for like building relationships, because the first person I ever brought to New Orleans was Dre Michelle, and she was a reality star at the time. And I realized by just bringing her to New Orleans, building a relationship, that at that age, 20 years old, I was able to build this relationship by just being myself, bringing her to New Orleans, showing that Southern hospitality. And that helped, I built relationships, through her. Like when she invited me to LA, he showed me that same Southern hospitality that I showed her while she was in New Orleans. And she introduced me to a lot of people that, a guy named Cam, he was in my restaurant last year eating, and this 8 or 9 years ago. But he came to my restaurant like a year ago to come eat. And I just saw how it helped manifest different things just through building relationships. So from that moment forward, I just continued to be myself, book different artists and different people to come host my events. And from there, I built, a lot of relationships within the industry that, helped put me in position now at 29 years old. I planted a lot of seeds early in my journey that I'm still building. Like, a lot of things are just, those seeds are blossoming just from like planting those seeds early on in my journey. So I learned a lot from that. So I advise everybody who, any entrepreneur, to really focus more so on relationships, because the money is cool. Money will always be there, but the relationships are what you have, when the money's not there. And just having those solid relationships, like building a solid foundation, has put me in a position to where, I booked Drake back in 2016, and that party, it was a great event, but, I lost money. But I didn't look at it as a loss. I looked at it as an investment, because when I booked Drake, my whole plan was to build this relationship. Fast forward to when I opened up Morrow-Lewis in 2018, I happened to see Drake out in LA. I go stop at his private event, saw him and his manager, and he told me, they were like, yo, we're gonna be in New Orleans Monday shooting a night for a video. We're gonna come by the restaurant. So come that Monday, Drake comes to my restaurant. We've been open for 3 months. All right, the whole city of New Orleans is outside the restaurant because they hear Drake is over there, he's shooting a video. So, me investing into that relationship by booking them, because being in a city like New Orleans, a C-list market, we don't have access to, people like Drake and Diddy and all these A-listers. So I know in order for me to build, I had to bring them to New Orleans, show them that Southern hospitality, and from there, a relationship manifests to where, now, when they come to New Orleans, they come to Morrow-Lewis. So him just coming within those 3 first months just helped, build a lot of momentum. And when people saw Drake at the restaurant, the picture went viral with him and my mother. So relationships are definitely something that helped build my business. So, that's pretty much, how I got started.
Well, look, I can attest to the lines being around the corner. I've been there a few times, and I think each and every time I've never been in there when it was not bustling. So you've done a great job with that location and actually spotlighting and bringing things to that industry. And I know I want to delve back into that a little bit more, but let's let Kim come on and give us a little bit of background and share a little bit of insight as to, those start out days and the things that kept you strong and with your head in the game to get you to where you are today.
Okay, first, hi. Thanks for having me. And I want to apologize. We are still struggling with our power over here on the West Bank.
Listen.
So I do apologize for that from being in my car. Um, I started Old Orleans as, just a thought. It was a thought, and we laughed. We talked about it. Um, I'm a wine drinker, like most women, a mom, kids running around. Somebody pour me a glass of wine. Um, I became an entrepreneur at the age of 28. Started with a nonprofit like Derek. Um, opened a mental health facility, ran that for a couple of years, opened another one to go with that. Around the time that I wanted to start the wine company, I was full fledged into the mental health field. And I knew I wanted to do something different, but I didn't know what. And I kept playing around with the wine thing. But the thing about the wine industry, it's not a lot of direction or information on how to start a wine company, which route to take, even reaching out to other winemakers and wine companies and vineyards. It's a closed industry. Nobody really wants to tell you the information that you need to go forward. And if someone is going to tell you or consult with you, for instance, they wanted to charge $20,000. And I'm like, that's crazy. I'm not paying $20,000. I'm like, I ran a few businesses. I'm smart. I can read. I'm going to do this research myself. And eventually I did the research and I made it happen. There are a lot of companies that are Black owned, and you would think that you can go to them for help,
Mhm.
but they'll never answer. They don't respond. They don't give you a direction. So it was really frustrating and challenging trying to start this wine company. I can remember many of these after getting it started, just hitting the block, going restaurant, store, winery, this door closed, that one closed, this one say no. It's hard starting off, but eventually it pays off, and for me it paid off very well. We're now in about 15 stores, and it was a challenge. I learned so much about distribution and just being with the right distributor and having the right people around you and things of that nature. So I would tell anybody who want to be in the wine industry, read, because it's so much that you have to cram
Mhm.
at one time, and there's really no direction out there. There's no book. It's stuff that you got to learn. You have to learn it fast and you have to learn it quick, because if you want to get into stores and you want to get with distribution, they're going to ask you certain questions that nobody's teaching, and if you don't know these things, you're going to be like, um, so I tell everybody it's really cool to pay somebody to do a job for you or pay for a service, but you need to know how to run your business and everything about your business yourself.
So
And
Kim,
so,
I'm sorry not to
go ahead.
cut you off, but you actually are dropping some nuggets that we really want to emphasize and re-emphasize. If we can shout it from the rafters, each of
Mhm.
you guys have actually shared very important jewels. One being relationships. Each of you all have shared about relationships that have either gotten you started or propelled you to where you are, right? But understanding your industry and how that has deemed into this success. I know many of our participants are in various industries, but everything that you're saying is as it relates to reading and knowing how to navigate in those spaces, but also understanding that as a culture and just as minority business owners and leaders, we typically often do not have that backdoor insight, right? We haven't had legacy information that allows us to be able to walk into these spaces and be successful. So shout out to all of you guys for the fact that you have done it. You persevered and went through and actually moved those doors and opened up new relationships and allowed yourselves to be able to be the self-made success that we want to definitely inspire and share and exude to the participants here that are listening to you today. And I know that, you know, right now it's just a hard time, right? We all are in this space amidst the pandemic, but more so in a community. And each of you guys are integrally influenced and touched with what's going on with the pandemic and how that is impacting your business. As a business owner, you know, what are your challenges right now, and where do you see yourself amidst the pandemic and what's to come? So Derek, if you want to start with that one, how is this impacting the music industry and the kids and their ability to be able to be out in your business right now?
Good and bad. I have to say, I'm gonna go with the bad. The bad in person, having the kids to really be around each other, build those relationships, and have kids to really flourish because of the impact and the inspiration that's around them to, to help them want to practice and stuff like that. It's not there right now. So that's really hurting the music industry as far as our future, our kids that's, you know, coming up as that want to be future musicians and want to be singers and want to be our entertainment coordinators, and everything is really affecting us on that level. On the good way with Roots is it showed us a different way of doing things. We immediately went to doing online services and having online classes. Right now, we're doing one a day with each section, where we have an in-person, slowly but surely, but each section, upper brass, lower brass, of woodwind, drum instruction, and drummers. We all have in one day that we're coming in right now. Eventually, we're going to move to 2 days, but right now we have one day. But it showed us different ways to fundraise. It showed us different ways to get to our kids and keep in contact with our kids. But the fundraising part has been the most challenging part. But when you have a good team of people that really have the same objective as you and the same goal and focus, I think that it makes things a lot easier. It may be difficult as it is. This pandemic has been the worst thing that ever happened to us. And I can say that happened to everybody, but when you have a great team, it takes a lot of stress out of things. So I always say to people when they're building a business, make sure your team is on the same page as you, because all it takes is one person that can destroy the whole process, the whole business. So, you know, and as soon as you find that problem, that mole, get rid of it.
That is actually really great information, and I think that it resounds with the people that are on the panels today, understanding. We talked about that in some of our classes in building our HR structure, and, you know, understanding you have the right people in the right place at the right time, and actually how to deal with, you know, conflict resolution and things of that nature. So you're actually talking just about some of the things that we just recently had in our classes. So Larry, if you can share, I know you're in vastly different industries, from development, the restaurant industry, in entertainment, in this, you know, 25% capacity, 6 feet social distancing, bringing back employees, into a space where you have to now have PPE and understanding, you know, those impacts. Like, these are some things that I can honestly say, in our lifetime, I don't believe that other business leaders have had to deal with that stress, on top of the fact that it is a very cyclical industry, and, you know, you're very interdependent on your brand. right? And maintaining that at the same time. So can you share, just how you feel about that, and how you have, faced those challenges head on and been successful through this period?
I would start off with landmark events. I haven't been able to produce events because of COVID. So that industry I haven't really been able to really just tap into. But one thing, I didn't let that slow me down. I mean, it is what it is right now. I think we gotta continue to find ways to continue to make ourselves relevant, continue to find ways to just, figure out new things. I think this pandemic taught me a lot about myself, and challenged me in so many different ways because, just finding out more about myself, just even being able to spend more time with my family, my daughter. I had a daughter last year in November. She's about to be 1 year old next week, and just being able to spend all of that time with her and just learn more about myself and just who I am and what it is that I want to do, because before the pandemic I was on go, nonstop traveling, just always working, and we forget about so many different things when we're always on the go. So first and foremost, that literally just elevated me, just not being able to produce events, being out late, not being there. Like I'm enjoying it, right? But when it came to the restaurant industry, beginning of COVID, we had to shut down, but we've been dealing with capacity, 25% capacity, 50% capacity, 75%. Now I forgot where we're at, but I know we can't have bar seating. It's been challenging, but one thing that we did do to overcome that is to start doing Uber Eats orders and focus more on making to-go orders a lot more efficient by implementing into our online system. So between that and to-go orders, we've been able to do very well, even during the pandemic. So, I think it's just finding ways to, there's no excuse. There's ways you can be creative and innovative to continue to make your business thrive during this time. Another thing I've done, I looked into another industry. I saw a friend of mine was involved in it. He turned me on to it, and it was trading. A lot of us in our communities, we don't know a lot about trading, about stocks and different things like that. I've been able to make a substantial amount of money in the past 5 months, just from learning a different skill set that I didn't have before. This is what they do on Wall Street. This is how you exchange your time. This is how you make money without exchanging your time for it. And a lot of us, we are in a time poor business to where we allow our time to dictate the amount of money we make. But we have to change our mindset and start to become cognizant of, how we're exchanging our time, because in order to put yourself in a financial free space, you have to learn to start helping your money make money for you. So for example, I get a salary from Morrow, but am I at Morrow every day? No. So that's putting my money to work. But, of course I had to start from somewhere. Before I was able to do that, I did, work the 9 to 5 McDonald's. I worked at Chuck E. Cheese. I did valet. I was a lifeguard. So it didn't start off just me, I started from the bottom, and worked my way up to where, I was able to put myself in a position to where my money is actually working for me. So for all the entrepreneurs and people who are experiencing difficult times right now, get more information. They say it's not the opportunity that we lack, because we come across a lot of opportunity. It's the information that we do not have, because the information is what helps you seize the opportunity. So get that information, because you can definitely, if your business is struggling right now during this time, you have to just hit the drawing board and be creative and be innovative and surround yourself in an ecosystem full of people like yourself and people that's going to motivate you.
Oh, wow. I don't even know if I can come behind that, man. Like you said, I started from the bottom, and I'm like, now I'm here. We got the Drake song going in the background and everything. And look, Larry, you hit it right spot on. Reading, I say that all the time, people aren't born into who they are, except for those very talented musicians, really, musicians and artists. They are innately born that way. But all of the rest of us, if we take that opportunity to just read, that opportunity that actually worked for us.
I've been able to make a lot of money during the pandemic just by expanding my information, you know what I mean? Which is help expand my bank account essentially. So, definitely dive into that information.
Well, look, I would be remiss as to not acknowledge. I know that most people's phones are blowing up right now. We're in the middle of having some election results coming through, but we have taken Pennsylvania. And so I think there'll be some announcements coming this afternoon. I did not want to forego that information. It's actually being shared in our chat. But as we talk about what our future looks like, and Kim's doing a high five. Kim, come on in here and tell us a little bit about, what's been impacting you right now. We might have a couple of reasons to go out and buy some old wine. So we can
yes, I'm headed to the winery right after this. The pandemic has actually been good to me for Old Orleans. I have sold, well, right now I have 5 wines out. I'm completely sold out of 3 of them. And it's just been an ongoing thing. One of them I didn't have for a good week online. So Old Orleans has done really well. What I've learned during this time, people drink. They really drink. And so for me, that's a good thing. My healthcare company, not so much. Workers wanted to stay home or not, go into clients' homes out of fear of catching COVID. And so that declined a little bit. My trucking business, a little slow, not where it normally is, but it's starting to pick back up. But overall, Orleans has done really well. And, just like Larry said, you have to be creative. So it's allowed me to reinvent some things, add on some new wines, add some new wine products. And so far, I have no complaints about, working in a pandemic.
Okay. All right. Well. Look. So I know that we have a good many people on the line with us today, and you guys have shared, how you started, staying in the game, putting your head down, actually transitioning. I think each of you all have talked about how you pivoted your business during this time, right? And even expanded, looking into new industries. Larry, I love the fact that you're going, more into trading. That's a little passion behind my own heart. I used to be a stockbroker for a couple of years, so I would definitely encourage everybody to understand, investing and investing in yourself and your time, understanding your time value. I mean, the nuggets that you guys have dropped have literally been invaluable. But I want to ask you, and I know this is us. We're talking to you, me. We're one in the same. The people that are on this call today, they are here and they're hungry to get to that next level. And I want you guys to, each if you can, just share what are your thoughts on what's to come, and what can you say to encourage that young entrepreneur, that person that is, following in your footsteps, because you all have paved a way in industries that we have not been in before, right? This is a city of food and culture, and you have one of the most prominent restaurants, known, world renowned, Black wineries, and they don't exist, right? We're barely getting into Black vineyards, and you have an entire wine line, and in Grammy Award artists who then transition into serving their community and bringing up that next generation. Like you all a bunch of unicorns, actually, but I want you to share with us, if you could talk to yourself a few years ago, or as you were starting out, and just, what would you say to encourage the business leader to continue on that track? And Derek, I'll go ahead and start back with you.
Everybody tell you never give up, but I would always say try to surround yourself with people that is going to inspire you to keep going. Get around whatever it is that you're doing and try to learn as much as you possibly can about that, and believe in yourself. if you put enough work into yourself and into whatever it is that you're going after, I believe that it's going to be a success. You just have to stay focused on what it is that you're going after, and I don't care what business it is. It could be any business. If you have to be focused on where you want your business to go before you go anywhere else. You don't let anybody else have the focus of your business. You be the focus of your business. That's pretty much it with me.
Larry, what are your thoughts on
I would definitely say stay consistent. Just being an entrepreneur, people sometimes think it's pretty, it's easy, it's I can wake up today and be an entrepreneur, but truthfully, you have to have a certain level of determination, drive, self motivation. I saw a meme uh, on Instagram yesterday. It was someone laying in bed and it had like, doctor, it had lawyer, that person laying in bed and had entrepreneur, like they weren't laying in the bed. Like, and entrepreneurship, when I saw that, I laughed because it's funny because, it's not something that you do, a 9 to 5, it's something you do all the time. And, my schedule, it's not a set schedule. So, it's tough for my family at times because I'm always on the go. But you got to find that balance, and that's what I've been learning to do. But for any entrepreneur who is serious about it, you got to just like nobody's waking me up at 6 a.m. telling me to get up or to do this or do that. So it has to come with a certain level of self motivation and drive. But I think just to kind of balance myself out, I definitely keep God first. Prioritize. I mean, keep your life in order. Just definitely just me, once again, during the pandemic, just me spending more time with my family and just finding that balance just as a young entrepreneur, it's not easy, because you have to balance personal life, family, business is everything, so, just stay motivated, stay prayed up and don't give up. It's not going to come when you want it. Sometimes you got to wait on God's timing, and when it comes, you got to be prepared for it. A lot of times we don't spend enough time preparing for it, but entrepreneurship or just in life for anybody, you got to be prepared for opportunity, all day, every day. So, prepare your mental, prepare your physical, and prepare your spiritual, and, I think you'll be fine.
And prepare your financial. So I think that is one that we definitely need to make sure that you got to have your money right. So it's very important to stay prayed up and be prepared for anything that comes your way. And I think that you shared one of the things that each of us have gone through in life as being entrepreneurs. We're a unique breed. We are not that 9 to 5. And oftentimes you struggle because the people that you hire are the 9 to 5. And it's like, get it together, let's get it done. And you have to be able to have that balance, right? And not.
I definitely like to uplift those around me. Like even my employees at Morrow, like I encourage them to, they're working for me, but at the end of the day, I want to encourage you to go out and, you bet on yourself. My book, is entitled All Bets on Me, the risks and rewards of becoming an entrepreneur. And, I mean, I once worked, McDonald's and different places like that, but I mean, definitely gamble on yourself. You can help me build my dreams and I appreciate it, but, I want to help you build your dreams. So I always encourage them to, don't just stop here, continue to look for different ways to, make money on the side. Like I introduced some of them to trading, I introduced some of the different opportunities and, just to kind of help them out.
Absolutely. And you definitely need to put in the chat where we can get a copy of that book. I have a few people that have already asked, so they definitely want to get that. And Tim, come on and round us out. Let us know, what would you say to yourself back then? And what would you say to our entrepreneurs now, just to encourage them?
I would say don't be afraid of the word no. You're going to get the word no a lot. Do not be afraid of the word no, because for every no, there is a ton of yeses out there. Some of your yeses come back tripled. Don't be afraid to invest into yourself. So many times we want to invest into other people and other opportunities, but we don't invest in ourselves. if you don't invest in yourself, you can't expect anybody else to invest into you either. And so if you want to think outside of the box and be creative in starting businesses, you have to be willing to risk it all on yourself. There is not one business that I've started where I didn't give my full 100% and didn't depend on, just everything that I'm putting into it. Because how can I put this? For instance, when I started my wine company and I got all those no's. I could have got stressed. I could have quit. I wanted to quit. The younger me probably would have quit, but where I am today is a result of not quitting. And so I decided to invest in myself and hit the ground even harder and just made sure that I took advantage of everything that was put in front of me. Um, the wine industry in Louisiana is slim to none. We have 7 wineries. I just recently found out that I'm the first micro winery in the entire state of Louisiana, not just the city of New Orleans, and I didn't know that. But I would have never, ever known that if I didn't take the risk on myself. Taking a risk on yourself is bigger than just I'm going to start a business. Most people start a business and quick they want quick money. They want something fast. They want something that's just going to turn over really quickly. You can't be in business for quick money. If you're in business for quick money, get out. Get out. If you
Right.
don't have a passion for what you're doing, get out. If it's all about a dollar, get out. Do something that you love, something that's going to make money for you, something that's going to create a legacy, something that's going to be able to be there for your children or whoever you want to leave it to. You can't do that with quick, trendy businesses. It's not going to work. You have to think longevity. So I would say risk risk it all on yourself, invest, and like Archivia said, I will say definitely read, educate yourself, because if you do not educate yourself on what you're doing, you're going to be out there blind, and you're going to be calling every. How do you do this? How do you do that? And this is your business. I need to hire somebody to. No, you'll do it. That's your business. So definitely invest in yourself, invest in your business, and you'll be okay.
Well, thank you so much. I think that you guys have kind of rounded it out, and I just want to share just a little bit. As you saw when we started, there was a video that came on that had a track that was created by our very own Derek Tabb, who's on with us today. Thank you so much for getting that together for us. But it is phenomenal. I sing it in my sleep, I believe. But if you saw the words that were shown in that video, legacy, in power, in knowledge, in capacity, in community, right? I think that you all are prime examples of what we speak to when we say build NOLA, right? And this is the type of information that we definitely want to share and continue to share throughout our business community, that we can build legacies, we can build our community, we can build power and capacity through building NOLA. But guess what? We can build it together, because just as you all have shown
That's right.
today, each of you all have reached back, right? You've given, you provided these nuggets, you're providing books for people to read, you're encouraging people to read, you're showing them that pathway forward to be the successful entrepreneur that we all know is buried deep inside of us. So I do want to thank you all for your time, for providing your information to us today, for sharing, being so personable, for allowing us to come in on a Saturday morning and drop some nuggets, because we all started from the bottom. Now we're here, we're going higher, we're going to keep it going, we're going to get that drum roll. Having some insight to the man behind Roots of Music, the developer, restaurateur, entrepreneur, this wine creator. We have creators, we have developers, and what you all are sharing with us is that as you have done it, each of us can do it as well. So we won't stop at that no, Kim. You literally have preached a word today. You're going to have to go through those no's to get a yes. So with that, I want to say thank you all for giving of your time, and of your expertise and your inner passion to us today. I want to get Jade back on the screen, so that our fearless leader can go ahead and close out this segment. But again, thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing with us today. You don't know how invaluable that information has been, and it has touched me. And I can see from the chat that it's touched every last one of the other people who were here with us today.
Kalisha, thank you so much for your leadership. Derek, Kim, Larry, I can't thank you guys enough for coming on. This was inspirational for me, so I'm sure it was equally inspirational for everyone that joined. I took notes, right? So I wanted to rattle off just as we wrap up. We started, Larry kicked us off with telling us that relationships matter, right? And so what that translates into for our Build NOLA participants is, number one, you're building relationships within the program, right? And so you need to make sure that you're tapping into those relationships. But you'll also begin to build relationships externally as well, which are going to be critical for you. Kim talked about knowing your stuff. She wove that theme into almost every talking point she had, right? Whether she was talking about the winery, whether she was talking about her trucking business, whatever industry, she touches many industries, like all of the panelists, but she talked about knowing your stuff, making sure that you're doing your research and your reading, right? Larry has a book you should be reading. So that is an important point that we don't want to miss. One of the participants in the chat said preparation greets opportunity at the door. Prepare yourself for what you do not see right now, right? You might not see the success of your business in front of you, but you have to make sure that you're preparing for that. Be ready for anything and everything. Derek talked about building, I can't emphasize this enough, building a solid team, right? I know that every panelist on here and every attendee can attest to that. The importance of surrounding yourself with people who have like and common goals with you. So much consistency. Don't be afraid of the no. And my favorite, I just put it in the chat. Kim said, "Get out. If you're not here for all of the right reasons, if you're chasing money, if you think it's gonna come quick." I know all of the panelists can attest. They may be young, but this did not happen quickly. It may be easy, but it's not even easy. It may be simple, but it's definitely not easy. And so I just want to thank all of you again for taking the time out. We know that every single one of you are busy. And so we want to thank all of the panelists again for just sharing a little bit of your wisdom with us. And we hope that you will stay in tune and locked in with Build NOLA, and the participants will be tapping into each one of you in the months to come. So we appreciate you for that. I want to, in closing out, again, thank everyone for joining. I want to thank especially our partners with the City of New Orleans and Delgado Community College, who have been so instrumental in getting this program off the ground. And then last but not least, I would like to just give a reminder to all of you. You can go to our website, buildnola2020.com. But next week, we will be back with the rescheduled date for Janet Hill. Please, 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 phenomenal entrepreneur. And I invite our panelists to join us for her conversation as well. She is a seasoned entrepreneur. But also, like our panelists today, a serial entrepreneur, and we've got a lot to learn from her as well. So with that being said, go Joe, go Kamala. But guess what?
Yes.
Look, make sure
Change.
change. Listen, I'm on my stump right now, but we got to make sure we flip the Senate. So don't get distracted. We can celebrate today, but tomorrow we got to get on our business. So I want to thank all of you for joining us today. Have a phenomenal Saturday, and we'll see you next week, and we'll see the Bill NOLA participants on Monday. Thanks, guys. Love y'all.
Thank you.
Build power,
Build legacy,
build capacity,
opportunity,
and community.
Bill NOLA.